This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
Where can you take $10,000 off the 2026 Acura MDX? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink, be the maestro of your own home.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation. consultation, 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodyasdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Where can you drive the new Acura TLX for only $399 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is
following statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Good morning. Oh, wait a minute. I'm still prepared. Anyway, welcome aboard. Time to have some fun on the show. Yes, sir. Well, some fun, some stuff serious, some stuff, I guess, quirky. We'll have a little fun. We'll talk some sports, of course, on a beautiful Friday. April 3rd, 2026. It is day number 19,069 since our beloved Miami Dolphins were world champions. It's day number 8,852 since our Canes were national champions. We got, let's see, for you Bitcoiners out there, we're at 66,714. As the market, well, we pull up the market since the war is continuing. And we have a little bad news here to start the morning as Iran has shot down an F-15 fighter. The pilots are unaccounted for. They did eject. The Iranians found one of the ejection seats. They're looking for the pilots. The U.S. is searching for the pilots, and then Iran has offered a reward if they find the pilots. All that kind of stuff. So this is like Top Gun. This is like really like Top Gun. You see? The flares come out, all that kind of stuff, and the missile from the country that's been obliterated. I don't know, obliterated 8, 9, 10 times. They don't have anything left or whatever, of course, but they can still shoot down one of our jets. That's kind of crazy. So, that's what we got going on. So pray, folks, pray. Pray. I think we have right now, what is it? The market is down 61 points, which is not bad considering what happened yesterday. Wasn't bad. It was down, but considering what's going on, I probably thought it would be a lot worse. So not bad. S&P is up 7 and the NASDAQ is up 1.5. Okay. I don't know if I need to refresh or something because it kind of looks weird. But anyway, that's what we've got going on. We'll talk to David Furones today on the show. We'll have we'll by the way, here's the thing that I never do, and it is kind of slow, to be quite honest, when it comes on the Dolphins side. There's really nothing that much to talk about. If you have any questions for David Furones, put them on the chat board. Okay? If you have any questions, because maybe it's something I don't think of, and we can use one or two of them if you guys come up with it. So if there's something specific, because we've talked about a lot of things that have already gone on throughout the off season. So, that kind of stuff. So we'll get into that if you want. But David will join us at the bottom of the hour. So we'll talk a little Miami Dolphins with him. Anthony Walker retires, by the way. The often injured linebacker of the Miami Dolphins. Played for a few teams. Played for the Colts, also in the Jets, I think. And
Might have been somebody else in there, but you could tell he was a decent player. But his experience here, he was always injured, is what I saw here, unfortunately. But anyway, he announced his retirement. He got 9 years in. Good for him, man. He gets his pension. Panthers, Sean Stanley. You need to give the Florida Panthers a victory cigar. Not that we want the victories. We don't want the victories right now, but you can't fault professionalism, that you can't do. And by the way, Bob had a moment there where he was just absolutely ridiculous, dude. Okay. So yeah, that was he had a moment there where he had all kinds of saves. That was good. That was good. He's been, I guess, inspired with the new contract. So there you go. All right. What else do we have going on? What do we have? NorCal, I see you're in the house. Burimi, been blowing my mind. Ready for it, Big O. Now have a great day. All right. He is up early. He's 3 hours before us. Dolphin Dave, I see. Stony Stanley. Jaybird in. Alexis Palenzuela. Gus 1388. Jeff in Long Island. Luis Notare enjoying the Jersey Shore. Kosa. Rusty Rags. Okay, I'll look at it on Instagram. Lenny Pena. 20 days away from the NFL draft. It can't get here fast enough, to be quite honest. Get a little closer with the draft. We can go get some draft people on and talk a little draft and all that kind of stuff. It's just we're in the middle of the whole rebuild thing again. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, we'll see. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? By the way, just on the music side, got to thank U2. They dropped a Easter Lily EP. So can't wait to relax and listen to it this afternoon a couple of times. So I'm looking forward to that. In a little present, a little U2 present this morning. I like it. So hopefully it's I'm sure it's pretty good. And I can't wait for their new album. They've got an article out on the new album. For those of you that might be U2 fans, like yours truly, and I know my man Pat in Asheville out there is also a monster U2 fan. Let me see, where is the article? Here we go. So just in case for any of you U2 fans, because I am headed to Dublin for this tour, because this might be their last one. Who knows? Maybe after this, what they do is a residency here or there, or something, or show up, headline a festival. But I don't know how many more world tours they've got in them. But the band has long been thought to be working on a studio album, their 15th. But surprise fans with the new 6-song EP, Easter Lily, today on Good Friday. And Bono assured fans that the band is still planning on releasing an album. They've already released 2 EPs already this year. So they've released, a lot of music. We're still in the studio working towards a noisy, messy, unreasonably colorful Xerox album to play, which is where U2 lives, he said in a statement shared on X. We still look to vivid rock and roll as an act of resistance against this awfulness and our small screens. These are for sure wildness years for so many of us looking at the mayhem out there in the world. It's time that has our band digging deeper into our lives to find wellspring of songs to try to meet the moment. And then he went on to say that Easter Lily, the EP, was a result of the band asking themselves very personal questions, such as our own relationships up to these challenging times, and how hard do you fight for friendship? So there you go. And by the way, I don't think anybody fights harder for friendship than those four guys. And they've proved it now, going through everything with their drummer. Anyway, so good day for us U2 fans to hear that news, considering, like he says, all the bad stuff that is going on. Unfortunately, like today, our pilots, I hope they find them. By the way, Sean, if you can follow, I have stuff here, and I'm trying to follow while I do the show, but I hope we hear something about our pilots and they're found. Who knows? Would be like, it would be cool, like maybe some Iranian citizens like took them in, hit them for a little bit, and then the U.S. found them and took them out. Because the last thing we want is those people to get caught, dude. That's just, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. Anyway. All right. What else do we have? Bobby, 28 saves yesterday in the 2-1 win. We've got the Wizards and the Heat on Saturday. Michael Biamonte is retiring. And he's been the arena announcer there forever. And if you've been to a Heat game and all the sayings he has, the dos minutos and everything else, he's a legend in this town. He's he's a fixture, and he's an awesome person. I've known him for a few decades and worked around him and all that kind of stuff. And so I've gotten to know Michael and seen him do his thing for many years while I was a beat guy too, and all that kind of stuff. Just a beautiful human being, man. Just a really, really good dude. And good for him, man. He's had a really nice career there and been able to do it. And Mike Inglis, the radio guy that retired, I want to say 3 seasons ago or 2 seasons ago, I want to say, because that's where Jax is taken over for him. And I thought Mike did a great job. And I said it then when he left, okay? And we're going to watch, those of us that are old enough, we're going to watch the turn of the faces in this organization now. Mike Inglis was here for a long time. He stepped down, and he stepped down at the perfect time when the gravy train pretty much ended, to be quite honest. I think he stepped down right after that last trip to the finals. And then you've got Biamonte now. And Biamonte, the next announcer will never see better days than what Biamonte saw the last 25 plus. Right? So you think about all of that going on. And then, Eric Reed is getting up there. Riley's getting up there. Mickey's getting up there, where Nick will eventually take over, where somebody's going to take over for Riley, where somebody eventually will take over for Spo. So you're just kind of watching it now a bit on some of the broadcast side, but this is kind of the beginning of the pages turning and the chapters closing on certain eras of the Miami Heat, because let's be quite honest. They've lost their way. They're no longer the franchise they used to be. They live off of their history. They're doing exactly what the Dolphins have done for decades now. They have no recent history that's worth sharing anything from, so they have to depend on the Marino years and the 70s. They got to live on that because they have never accomplished anything after that. And unfortunately, that's kind of what they're morphing into. You know what I mean? And so as I watch Inglis walk away, and now I'm seeing Biamonte, and it gets to a point where if you're an announcer, if you're a coach, if you're the front office executive, how do you top what you already experienced? You can't. So whatever if Biamonte hangs on for the next 5 to 10 years, he's not going to come close to what he's experienced. And for Michael Inglis, for Mike Inglis, he got out perfectly when the gravy train was right at the beginning of being completely over, because whatever he was going to call from here on out was going to be mediocre, because that's all it's been for the last few years. Mediocre. He got out like right on time. So it's interesting while we see these, sad moments to see Biamonte go. I mean, all of our times go at one point or another. It's just kind of the way it is. You retire, you move on. But it's more than that. It's deeper, because the Heat organization is in a real huge change right now. It's kind of lost. It's a rudderless ship. It has no real direction, and it's stuck in its old ways, and that's kind of what's been burying them, and that's what's kept them to be what they are now. They're no longer an elite franchise. They're a mediocre franchise. They're no longer an elite team. They're a mediocre team. That's just kind of the way it goes. And if you're part of it, you haven't, you're not going to experience anything better than what has happened already. So it's hard. It's hard to live up to that kind of stuff. Remember what we've talked about before? How I've talked about being super lucky to live every championship era that's ever existed in this town. And then when I look back, I start to realize it comes and it goes. And you have no idea if it will ever come back. I was a child when we were celebrating Super Bowls. It's never come back. I was a teenager when I experienced and an early 20s guy when I experienced the 4 championships in a short amount of time. By the way, the baseball championships too. Let's not forget those, because it's not like it's ever come back again. You know what I'm saying? And you got one in 2001, but that's what's coming. That if Mario can get one, he's not going to be winning 4 of them in 7 years, in 6 years. Those days are done. And then we see what the Heat accomplished. It's hard to do that again. It's more about what 2006 was. And look at our baseball team. We got one in 97 and 03. In 6 years, we got 2 championships. You think that's ever going to happen again? So what may happen is an outlier, but to go on like the Panthers, what they've got going on now, remember, as I've told you the last couple of years, please enjoy this. I told you last year, before this season, embrace this, because you don't know how long it's going to last. And look what happened this year with all the injuries, because you just don't know what's around the corner. And it's hard to capture that kind of stuff. This Panther stuff is once in a lifetime. If they ever win again, it'll be one that's, every once in a while or every generation or something, if they can do it. But to do what they've done in a short amount of time, that's not habitual. It just isn't. So it's interesting how we're watching the beginning of the chapters ending and the faces changing in the history of the Miami Heat as long tenured people, even Jose Pineda, who's been around forever. You know what I mean? All those guys are getting to a point where eventually they'll be hanging out. And here's human nature. Human nature is something you and I cannot fight. When you've lived the high, it's hard to constantly live the low. And you kind of get tired of it because the job is not the same. So it's not going to, no matter what Eric Reed says publicly, behind the scenes, he's not having the same kind of fun he's had in the past. And he sees it. He just can't talk about it because he's in the family. You know what I'm saying? But Biamonte sees it. Mike no speak of the English. He saw it. You know, and eventually you're like, yeah, and if you're at the point in your life that you can retire and take it easy, you're like, yeah, I'd rather retire than do this now every year where they're not like anything that I used to do. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the things that I look at when I see now the Biamonte stepping down and following of a couple of years after Mike no speak of the English. You know, you start to see that, and I think that's why I want to talk about it now, because it's kind of like this is what's coming over the next couple of years. That we're going to start seeing people step down and step away from the Heat organization, and and move on into another chapter in their lives, like we all do. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, it's time. And it's time for many different reasons. For the personnel people or the coaching, what might be one reason, and for the broadcasters, it might be something else. So, Michael Biamonte, wish you the best, my brother. You are an absolute class act. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, when we beat Boston is fine. I'll take it next season when we return to form. Okay. Yes. I had to. I figured, my man got attacked, so I figured I'd wear a Buckingham shirt. You know what? I feel really lucky. I have the shirt too, and I bought it. It's not one that I really wear, because it's kind of a corny shirt, but it's kind of historic, and I got to see the tour with him and McVie, with Christine McVie, and obviously she's no longer with us, and she was, a super talent in her own right, and so it was cool to see the music that they came up with together, and then obviously they did some Mac. And it was great to see Buckingham on his own, and he could just show off his guitar skills and all that kind of stuff. That was actually a cool tour. And I've seen Buckingham solo, which that's what this is, a couple of times also. And I would, if you appreciate musicianship and Fleetwood Mac and a super talent, I would tell you to go see Lindsey Buckingham, because he is a marvel on guitar, dude. Marvel on guitar. He is incredibly underrated because of his music, and it doesn't really show him. But when you go see him solo, that's when you see even more skill, because he steps away from all the Fleetwood Mac hits, which is what you're focused on at that moment. But anyway, I know they've been a mess of a family, that Fleetwood Mac, and he's not no innocent child and all of that. But anyway, music-wise, can't say that I don't support him. He's fantastic, super talent. All of them. I have everything of Stevie Nicks. That's kind of the way it goes. Doesn't matter. I like that entire musical family. They are super talents. Jules is in the house. Good morning to you. For David, will Ross be involved in picks during the draft? I think the GM is doing this thing. I don't think Ross is picking, but we'll ask if you want. MVP this year for NBA, Luka. No, Wemby is my MVP, dude. Wemby's my MVP. I want to see Chop take off this year. If he doesn't, this is the year where you must turn the corner, or you're officially a bust, because you're already playing with bust, territory. And 3 years is the fair assessment for every player. 3 years. At that 3-year mark, you got to be who you are already at that point. If you develop in that 4th year, the contract year and all that kind of stuff, that's where it becomes fishy. Like, oh, this guy tried this year just to get a contract, and then you walk that fine line, like, oh, wait a minute, is this guy real or what? And And do we give him the money, or is he the same guy from the 3 years before that? And that's where you run into it. So I agree with you. He needs to cross that threshold. Okay. What else do we have here? Jeff in Long Island says, I'm 2 years younger than you. We have both been through the same shit with our beloved Finns. Oh, yeah, but we're fans. That's different. Although I will say, for me personally, I step back. I don't work as hard anymore for the Dolphins, as you've noticed. You know, don't work hard to go get more sponsors so I can add more insiders. I'm tired of it. It's not worth it. What am I going to repeat the same bullshit over and over again? Of a bad team, mediocre team, never get over the hump. I got tired of it. So actually, I only have one insider on, and then I bring Perk on during the regular season for game day. That's it. What more is there? Why do I need to talk about a suck ass team, a mediocre team with 4 different insiders repeating the same bullshit over and over and over and over again? Boring, dude. Boring. So yeah. It's not worth it. It's just drives me crazy. So I'm one it's definitely, dude, dialed back completely. Let's see. JES says the right things, but he has never run a draft before. I wonder if he will make a panic move if the guy he likes on the board gets taken. Well, that's all hypotheticals, bro. None of us know anything about John Eric Sullivan. Nobody can tell you he's going to be great. Nobody can tell you he's going to suck. We can only assess what's gone on. You like who he's cut? Do you agree with the cutting? Do you agree with the signing of Malik? Do you like the trade? That's all we can go by. And we've talked about all of that already. That's been talked about. I've liked everything he does except the Malik Willis move. Don't think that was necessary. But if he's a franchise guy, then, dude, I'm an idiot. You go do your thing. You're fine. If Malik is a franchise guy, okay. Yeah. So, let's see what else. Ray, I agree. He is a very underrated guitar player. He never uses a pick. Yes, he never uses a pick. Always. Yep. Great guitarist. Great guitarist. If you could find like solos on YouTube, he'll freak you out, dude. He'll freak you out. Ocala Joe, morning. Oh, is there a band or a group that you wish you could have seen? Oh, yeah, the Cars. In Excess. Led Zeppelin. Original AC/DC with Bon Scott. Jimi Hendrix, of course. Oh my God. Love Jimi Hendrix. Hey, send Furones a link. I guess I didn't send him a link. So now Iran claims to have shot down a U.S. F-35 fighter jet. Also, Daily Mail is reporting that. I hope not. Anyway, I don't know if you guys know, they forced a general to retire yesterday because he's against ground troops. Because it's a trap, pretty much. It's the same thing as all the other places that we've gone to where the terrain is on their favorable side, not ours. So, pray, man. Pray for our men and women, please. Pray. Aquavision in the house. Rusty Rags. Rush sounded great the other day. Yeah, they did on the Juno Awards, didn't they? Yeah, man. And the guitarist, God, I keep forgetting her name now. But anyway, I know I said it wrong the other day too. But she is terrific. She does a great job. They sound fantastic. And Getty and Alex were awesome. So I would listen, I saw Rush a whole bunch of times, like maybe 10 times. So I don't, it's not like it's something that, oh my God. But as a guy that saw Pert a whole bunch, he was amazing. One of the best drummers ever to watch live. But I would go see this Rush in a heartbeat. I would not cheat myself just because Pert's not there. That's stupid. The music is still as relevant with those guys alive. You're blessed to see Geddy still be able to sing those notes, which it's, tough at his age. And yet, because he wasn't an alcoholic, because he wasn't a drug addict, because he is as cerebral as he writes, as he lives, he's smart, and he took care of himself, and he sounds great, And so I'm just telling you, because I've seen it on social media. Oh no, this Rush is fake and all that, because without Per, it doesn't matter. That's crap. That's crap. Okay, you go see it and treat yourself. Okay, the fact that you don't see Pert, okay, there's a part of that sucks, but the fact that you still get to see those two guys still kick ass in their prime, and if you never got to see it, why would you cheat yourself out of that? So don't anybody, if you like Rush or love Rush, but you're hesitant just because of the Pert thing, don't, man. Don't. Annika Niles, thank you, Rusty. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Annika was great. All right, let's get to the man, the myth, the legend. That is David Furones in our Welt and Rheum Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheum Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheum has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right, my brother. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Big O. How are you?
I cannot complain, although it's tough to do sports talk right now, dude.
Yeah.
Heat suck. Panthers really, I don't know, they shouldn't go to the playoffs. They should be in the lottery, but somehow another professionalism is getting in the way. People don't talk about the Marlins, and as great as Inter is, they don't talk about Inter either. And then we're just waiting for the draft because there's also nothing going on Dolphins-wise. You know what I mean? It's like it's a really, really and the Canes are off. So until that football rolls around that matters, it's kind of really a lame ass time for sports.
Yeah, well, you get your spring football nuggets from the Canes, and then Inter is opening the new stadium. So
that's for me. I love it.
Yeah.
But I could talk about it till I'm turning blue, and nobody gives a shit. So it's just kind of the facts, man. They still, Inter's done something terrible. Terrible. They don't connect to the community. You win a championship, you don't have a parade, you don't have the players. Dude, the people, the media was waiting like well over an hour before they even saw the players in the World Championship. When they won the cup and all that, when they won the MLS Cup, they had to wait for them forever because it was just the players, and then they all left town. And this is a team that's never connected to the fans. Like the Panthers win the cup, and they're drinking, they're at the elbow room, they're in the beach, they're on parades, they're getting off the buses, they're making it a part of it. It's like a week long celebration all over South Florida where the guys are serving food and all kinds of different stuff because they're really connecting with fans, and they're part of that championship. And the Panthers made our community a part of that championship. I think that's super important when you're trying to sell it, and they've done a shit job. Notice that the players that become available are the backup guys, the support guys. You never hear from Messi. You never hear from the top guys. Yeah, you know what I mean? And Messi doesn't make an effort to learn English, to communicate with the. So, you know, like I'll give you an example. Are you old enough to remember the Fusion?
Yeah. I didn't really watch them, but I just remember them existing.
But Ray Hudson was everywhere. He was on Hank Goldberg. He was on my show too, but you know, obviously I'm going to have him on because I was the stadium announcer and all that kind of stuff. So I've been pro soccer always. I've always been supportive of all the local soccer teams. Well, Fort Lauderdale United works with us, so you know that's kind of the way it is. I've always been a person that's very open to that. So that's I don't count. But when Ray Hudson's going on with Hank and going on with Joe and going on with Jim Mandich, you know, you don't see that. You don't see the inner Miami coach all over the place. You don't see the top players all over the place. And it's sad, dude, because it's just kind of like a big giant money grab and they haven't connected with the community whatsoever, even in the moment where they had a chance with the MLS Cup. No celebration. Nothing.
Yeah. How do you win any title in South Florida, a party capital of the country, and you're not celebrating? And what gets me is the Messi not doing any interviews. People who cover the team, they've only had one interview in how many years has it been now?
They hired Safed Dean to cover a guy he has no access to.
Yeah, wild to me. I feel for him because he's got to write everything off of just what's going on on his social media announcements and obviously covering the team, just waiting for that goal. To not have access and be able to interview him.
That's what I'm saying. So they've done a shit job in that sense. And one of the things that I talked about too throughout the last couple of years, like when you move Kromoski, bro, what kind of an idiot are you? That's a kid that grew up here in South Florida. He speaks English. What you should be doing is developing an American kid next to Messi that is a star in the MLS. So that way he can be the mouthpiece. Since Messi, you know, his Spanish is gibberish. So I can't imagine him learning English anyways. You know what I'm saying? He mumbles in Spanish. So it's hard to even understand his Spanish as it is. So I get it. I understand. You should be developing. No, you go and bring another international dude that doesn't speak English, doesn't communicate or anything like that. It's just, don't get it, bro. Don't get it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's hurt because they haven't connected to people. And that's why all of this is kind of weird. Like they're starting off to defend their MLS Cup, and you know it's kind of seats are available at the old stadium in every game. You know what I mean? It's not like it's ever sold out. It's not sold out for the opener. There's plenty of seats you can get. So they're expensive, but you know they're available, obviously. So it's just it's weird, bro. It's a weird time right now because no team is doing well, and the one that we were hoping that would carry us right now would be the Panthers, and that's not the one.
Yeah, not the case there. I was looking into tickets actually because I wanted to go to the opener at the new stadium, and then I should have pulled the trigger when I saw on the secondary market a certain price that tickets were at, and then they kind of went up since then. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just check it out another day once.
Bro, they're like $200 now, man.
What's that?
They're like $200-300 now.
Yeah. So missed the mark there, but probably. And I know they're still finalizing some of the things in and around the stadium.
No, but wait a minute. You can wait because those prices will go back down tomorrow towards closer as we get to the game because they'll start panicking and they have to lower the price.
I can monitor that.
You make a break towards the end, and then you can. Right. By the way, go Metro Rail, dude.
Oh yeah. Huh? It's gonna be mayhem out there.
No. I mean, if you're Michelle Kaufman, you're good because you're gonna go hours before, and you're gonna leave a couple of hours after you ride. The whole mess will be gone by. But if you're not a beat person, and you're a fan, oh, bro, Metro Rail, bro. Park in a Metro Rail station that's a couple of stops away or whatever, and then, pop in, because to drive in that place and that's the worst place to put a stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be madness. I can only imagine times when, like, a lot of people are flying, but I guess Saturday isn't just generally a huge type of fly in and out day. A lot of people are still where they are for the weekend. Maybe Sunday's a bigger type of travel day.
Either way, it's an airport. You have traffic there.
And there's going to be traffic, right?
And you still have all the residents that live in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Top of all of that, you know what I mean? And there are no avenues, dude. It's 37th Avenue. Period. End of story. You either go north or south, and then when you go south, you got to go over the bridge and into South River Drive and all that kind of stuff, or to get on the highway. That's going to be that place is not made for a stadium. It's just not. I get it, man. Where are you going to find a lot of land for a stadium? There's not a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And where is the stop relative to the stadium? Because
on the other side it takes you to the airport parking rental, whatever. It's right there, that station that's there.
Yeah. Okay. That's where it is. Uh-huh.
So you block away and you walk around.
Because I've been aware that there is one there to go to the airport, but just I've never done. I'll just see. It's usually a reasonable Uber to just go to the airport and back. Plus I expense those when I'm traveling. So, but yeah,
I'm married. The wife dropped me off, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. You got that set up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah. No, but take if you're gonna do it, bro. Metro Rail in, Metro Rail out.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I'm talking to a friend from Broward who's taking Tri-Rail to then come down and do it that way.
Smart.
Yeah.
Take the Tri-Rail, Metro Rail in, and then you're smart. One, he's going to save money in the end.
Oh yeah.
And two, he'll save time on the way out because you'll get out a lot faster than the people that are in those cars and all that shit. And plus, it's the first game, so logistically they don't really know what's coming at them.
Yeah, people haven't been groomed to how they operate logistically through the whole environment.
Right.
I haven't looked, but I hope they've been sending out a lot of different diagrams and maps of, okay, you're going to want to come in through here. Like I know the Dolphins do a good job of this, with the map layouts of around Hard Rock Stadium. If you're in orange, you're going to want to come this way. If that, everything else. So hopefully they're prepared on that front. I haven't really checked on that.
That's crazy. Somebody is worried that. Go ahead, Sean. What are you going to do?
No, Will Manso sent out a thing yesterday. There's still construction going on in the area.
That's what I was saying.
Everything's set up. It's not going to be good.
It's going to be terrible. Terrible.
That was another thing that deterred me as I was contemplating tickets, and then I was seeing that, and then I said, man, this is the opener. This is when prices are going to be highest. Let me not buy high. Let me just give it a few home games so that I could see it pretty soon, but not when it's at its highest. And plus, maybe then they've got some of those other things around the stadium settled by the time I do get out there.
Yeah. Just all I'm saying is Metro Rail that until they get their stuff straight, which I don't think they ever will. It's going to be hard where they're at, but that's why I would just say that's probably the better option. All right, so we got a fan that is worried that the owner is going to be making picks. Does in your mind does does John Eric Sullivan have complete control? Because I think he does actually.
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, I don't see Stephen Ross as any kind of hands-on owner. He is really just let the football people do their thing. He just wants to hire the football people. He's a business mind. He's obviously he's been tremendously successful from that standpoint. Where what still irks him, and he says it in any interview, is of course that still hasn't been winning, but he's going to be giving John Eric Sullivan the reins. And I think that's what they wanted in this hire back when they made it at the start of the offseason. 1 week, it was just really the fifth day of the offseason, that Friday after the finale against the Patriots. as they went full speed ahead with all those candidates, those 8 that then quickly was trimmed down to, did they have a final 3, I believe, and then finally settled on John Eric Sullivan. They wanted someone who's going to run the show, and not only from decision-making standpoint with the roster, but be the voice of the franchise, where now he is, like, I just came back from owners meetings, and we hadn't heard from Chris Greer at an owners meetings in the previous 3 years. It's already a step up with what he's done, where he's the one stepping forward and offering the updates on the Dolphins side of what they're doing, what their thinking is, what the moves they've made to go and address picking up Malik Willis, to go and address the Jalen Waddle trade, and then now sort of hit on the Devon Achane, as everyone's wondering about him. Go and answer to that. So what they're thinking in the draft. We hear about him now after this first wave of free agency. So you heard from him at the combine, this wave of free agency, pre-draft, and then throughout the draft. I'm sure there's going to be several press conferences. So a communicator, someone who can represent the organization from that standpoint, and then ultimately he will be obviously making those picks, which he's got 11 of them, and he even wishes he had more, but he got from 8 to 11, and we'll see how it goes later this month.
I think teams right now are holding off on free agent signings because they're kind of getting closer to the draft now. They kind of want to finish the draft and then say, okay, I'm going to find a free agent. Is there a guy out there you think they should sign?
As far as free agency right now, I would hold off. I would just hold off. Your focus is on getting out to the different pro days right now, bringing in players on 30 visits. You probably have your eye on some free agents that maybe you're thinking about. But now it's draft time. You hone in on the draft. You go see what you're getting in the draft. I never love how the order of it is, where because especially teams want to build through the draft, but then you've got free agency first. So you need to land your big time free agents in that first wave, and then you go into the draft Whereas I wish sometimes they could just draft first, and then you end up seeing what you still need to plug in your holes. But then, hey, that's how the free agents get their big time money, is because teams still have all these needs in mid-March when it happens. So that's just kind of how it goes. But I think you go through that wave. You've signed the guys that you've signed, and then now you've got some guys that you're monitoring. There's not going to be too much other movement around. So you can sort of bet on that the guys who are available right now are probably still going to be there after the draft, and then go from there. Within the Dolphins, I mean, I'm still looking at, like, Rasul Douglas is still available. Now I know John Eric Sullivan wants to get younger, but he's a guy who he had in Green Bay. Jeff Hafley did not have him. They didn't coincide there, but Jamil Adey, the new cornerbacks coach, has had him at Buffalo. So he would be a great locker room guy for young players that you bring in, as you are expected to draft some corners, to lead by example, show how you conduct yourself as a professional. He had a great season last year. So, I mean, he's one guy who I'd be looking at if, internally as far as Dolphins free agents. But right now, you just go through the draft. Remember, Douglas was signed 2 weeks before the season started last year. Like, camp already finished and he was signed. So you can probably still hold off on any move right now.
Luis Notare is asking, will they move Savanaya to the right side?
I don't think so, because there was a question where Sullivan was asked, and he started breaking down the offensive line. He was breaking down all the trenches, and he goes, like where we're at, left tackle Patrick Paul, center Abram Brewer, and then he says Savanaya, and says, oh, yeah, he still needs to develop. And it seemed like he was working his way to the right side to then say there's going to be competition at right guard. Obviously, they brought in Jamari Salyer from the Chargers. He's going to be one of the guys vying for that spot. And then Austin Jackson at right tackle, saying that he still has to prove that he can stay healthy. So that seemed to imply they're keeping him at left guard now. Who knows? They haven't even gotten their players in yet. So once once maybe Hafley and the offensive staff and the new O-line coach Yenzer gets his hands on these guys and then really sees what they're working with, maybe they do want to try and get him back to the side that he was working on back in his college days. But now, there's no longer James Daniels around, which I think that was part of it is at the beginning. And James Daniels only played 3 snaps, but he was going to be the right guard. So then it was like Savai and I, all right, we're starting him at left. And they would try to say, the previous staff, oh, yeah, well, no, we still like some of the things that for him at left guard. But obviously he struggled plenty as a rookie. So now it's not like you brought in a free agent who's going to play that spot. So I think you more so are capable of doing it with the setup that you have. But will they just – that answer from Sullivan seemed to indicate he's still considering him as the left guard, the way he framed it.
Okay. What was the other thing I wanted to ask you? Oh, on Half. Again, everybody says all the right things at the beginning and all that kind of stuff. But you just talked about a little bit how you're already getting, press conferences at the owners' meetings that you weren't getting. At least it looks like with Half, you're also going to get a culture change in a way too.
Yeah, I think we all saw his answer to the question about setting that standard. And, he's talking about, hey, if you're comfortable telling me you want to be great when it's when we're in a air-conditioned room indoors, and then when it's 110 degrees and you don't want to compete or you're not going to be on time, then he's going to throw that right back at you. And I think just the way you hear him, listen to him communicate, you really sense, all right, this guy means it, and it's hard to say, all right, this message is truly going to get across to these professionals and they're going to pay attention. You never know who really will or won't, but there's a difference in the way he communicates to that of Mike McDaniel, where obviously we knew that was one of McDaniel's weak points. So when you hear McDaniel say, hey, you can't be late, and he's there struggling, like, I don't know how many times I got to find these guys. Well, clearly the message isn't getting across. You kind of just buy a little bit more that the message will get across with Hafley, with the direct communicator that he is. So a lot of people around the league, other media members and such at NFL owners meetings would ask me, what I thought of Hafley, this and that, from talking to him a little bit. And then the first thing I would point to is his communication, is how direct of a communicator he was. And I would joke, it's always kind of like they want to overcorrect as much as possible what the previous guy wasn't. So like Brian Flores was this hard ass, and then they go with like the guy that's easier to work with in McDaniel. He was a defensive coach. They go to offensive genius type of guy. And then McDaniel probably struggled with some communication. Hafley, you listen to him, he's an excellent communicator. So it's kind of just like whatever the previous coach was not, you can almost always see that is a point of emphasis for the next guy. And I think that part is the biggest takeaway that I could see from Hafley so far.
All right. What else? What are you working on in the South Florida Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Actually, working up a mock draft right now. So another one. Oh, come on. Are we still all over these mock? We have now had.
They're terrible. That sets you up for failure. You're never going to nail it. That's just kind of.
I'm never going to. All right. Nailing it is one thing, but at least, you need to get an idea.
It's gibberish. You can't think like 32 different people in 32 different situations at 32 different moments. No, you're not going to do that. It's just
that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun to do, fun to read.
How about this? Somebody's asking if they'll draft big receivers. That's more substance, because obviously we had
all those different things too.
An idiot that loved to have Oompa Loompa receivers all over the damn place. So are we getting more Oompa Loompas, or are we getting somebody on stilts?
Yeah, we write all those things too. I mean, we've done it through the combine and all the prospect interviews.
Answer this man.
Oh, the specific question?
Yes. They're asking. Right now, bro. Where is it? Who's the guy that's asking? Jeff in Long Island is asking, can you ask Furones if he thinks the Dolphins will draft a big wide receiver? Answer this man.
I think they definitely should and probably will. I can't confirm they will. I don't think they can either, but they should. They're still lacking that. I mean, Jalen Tolbert can do a little bit of it, but you brought in Tutu Atwell, so he's a smaller guy.
Winning the team lack height. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Theo Weiss is a bigger bodied receiver. I want to see some development out of him. They brought in the Terrace Marshall guy who hey, give these guys a shot. They got
seriously. They're going to draft. They're going to.
But they got to. Yes, they got to find one. Yeah.
I'm not saying both. I'm not saying, but they're going to probably draft 2 receivers at least.
I would think so.
Picks.
They got 11 picks. You got to get 2. And you got to get 1 in your first. Within your first
3 rounds.
3 picks, between the first and second round.
I don't even think the first round. I think it's in the second or third round you got to get a receiver. I don't think that I just don't think. Well, that late first round pick could be. That's right. I forgot that they have a late first round. The early first is out. So the late first, the second, and the thirds, you got to get yourself a receiver there. You can't sign a young quarterback, trade away Waddle, and not spend real commodity on a guy and help him. And I hope it's a bigger physical guy too at the same time.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, I mean, one of them's got to be available between Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, and Mekhi Lemon at 11, at least one of them. But then would you draft one of those at the expense of if you could grab an edge rusher like Ruben Bain or if Maui Noah were available, or one of the corners in Delane or Jermon McCoy. I kind of will put all those other players first as far as priorities at 11, and then maybe at 30 you're looking at a slew of other receivers that could be there. So
I would take Caleb Downs if he fell there over a receiver.
Caleb Downs, yeah.
Okay, I would never take a receiver at number 11 right now. Where the Dolphins are at, they have to get an impactful Bain, a Maui Noah, and if those guys are all gone, and some weird reason Caleb Down falls to you, that's what I would never. I'd be disappointed in them if they took a receiver at number 11. I really would. I really would, because at 11, they have an opportunity to get a player that's going to really help them out in a big time way.
Yeah. Yeah, Caleb Downs, I kind of just always assume will be gone, but I'd put him in the same category where if he's there, then yeah, you rush that pick up there, and plus you need a safety. Plus, I mean, he could be your quarterback of the secondary, and he's an elite playmaker too. So yeah,
by the way, all the bullshit mocks out there, and since you're writing a bullshit mock, they've got all the UM players falling to Miami.
Yeah, I saw the latest one on ESPN. Bain is there, and they pass on Bain with Carnell Tate. That's one of those mocks where they have 4 different people picking, so it's not like everyone's on. But which is closer to a draft.
I've seen a couple of them where they have Bain and Maui Noah right there at number 11 for Miami.
Yeah. So it's legit. It could happen.
Take them or don't, but they're right there for sure. And I'm like, wow, okay, all right, fine with me.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, if I end up with Bain or Maui Noah, I am going to be really, really happy. Really.
And you know what? From another standpoint, people are canceling season tickets. They've opened up season tickets again, and you see the salespeople are back out there, because I know there were a few years where they had none, and it was a waiting list. Now, obviously, that's changed as a lot of fans don't want to pay to watch a rebuild, watch games of a rebuild. But that would be a way to get people back out there. Like, now you can get the UM fan base back to say, all right, we're going to do a back-to-back of Saturday Canes, Sunday Dolphins if they're both at home, because I want to watch Ruben Bain go ball out for the hometown team. You're going to get him bringing his everyone from back home out to the stadium, things like that. That could impact as far as a franchise trying to get people out to the stadium through what's expected to be a lean year.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Denzel Boston, one guy says, looks like a good wide receiver. 6'3", 212. You like him?
Yeah, I mean, possibility at 30 for sure. So if you do go take one of those other guys that we talked about at 11, and you still have the wide receiver need, and then you literally use the pick that you sent to Denver, that you acquired from Denver as you sent Jalen Waddle away, then yeah, to hit on Denzel Boston at 30, I think that would be kind of an ideal scenario where, I'd really like to go wide receiver there if he's available, and probably you still hold off on a lot of the other positions of need if you're still going to need. Well, it all depends on how you play out the first one, but between edge, corner, lineman, you're not going to address all of those. But Boston as a wide receiver at 30, I'd like him there.
Yeah, he at 30, I wouldn't mind. I just at 11, I think I would be very disappointed in them if they ended up settling for a wide receiver. Plus, it's not even a Green Bay way of doing things.
No, that's the other thing. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you are Green Bay South, you don't do those kind of things. But then again, Green Bay South did what Miami South does all the time. They're putting a young quarterback behind a bad football team. So that's something that they don't do in Green Bay. But somehow or another, they do it here in Miami all the time, even if they have the Green Bay boys running the show.
Well, Green Bay always just consistently had a good football team, so it's kind of you never really saw them have to put a quarterback behind a bad team,
because that's how they do things. They develop their team and they develop their quarterback behind the scenes, and then they bring him forward because then he's ready to play, instead of throwing him out there when he's not ready to play behind a bunch of other people that aren't ready to play, which then doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But if you have a team that's ready to play and the quarterback has got to learn, those guys can carry him, i.e. Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger in their first Super Bowls, where they were nothing but placeholders and they only had to make a couple of passes. The rest, the team did it for them. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you bring along a young quarterback. You give them an environment to succeed. That's why the old way really works, when you're able to develop a quarterback and your team is already, moving along with the established guy. So that way the young guy comes in, learns. And then when Malik was in there, every time he got in with a ready-made team. So it made him look a lot better. What you did to Tua and Ryan Tannehill in their first years, that was criminal what you did to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't like this move. On top of all of that, we're putting a young quarterback who's really still green behind a bad offensive football team. And so,
Well, my only point is you haven't seen the Packers do it because they've been set up all those years. So I guess you'd have to go, between Favre and then the transition to Rodgers and Jordan Love. And then whoever was backing up all of those guys, and they had good situations. But I guess you'd have to go back to when they started off with Favre then, because they as they went from the 80s into the 90s. I'm not sure of this, but
they won 10 games with Dan Majkowski.
Okay,
and then they went into a little bit of a funk because Majkowski wasn't really that good, so they needed a quarterback, and they went and traded for Favre because they
Atlanta.
But they needed the quarterback, and then they got Favre, and then they took off and started to play much better because they didn't have a quarterback. They always had Ron Wolf had the team.
Yeah.
He just needed the quarterback. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what happened after that 10-win season with the Magic Man. They kind of had a rough 2 years, and they're like, oh man, the Magic Man's not the guy, and he had some injuries too, I believe. And then they had to make the move for Favre, and then once they did that, then they started to turn things around.
Okay. There was kind of a setup for Favre to go.
Yeah. Well, you had a structure that was already in place because that's what that guy does. You know what I mean? They all learn from Ron Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
These are all Ron Wolf's children or whatever. Whether you're Ted Thompson or you're any of these other guys, you're all following the blueprint of Ron Wolf, is what we're doing. And so that's why I thought they would get here and build the trenches and build the team and get by with Ewers and some scrub in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, 7th round that competes with Ewers. And then you go get a Joe Flacco and Andy Dalton, a Jimmy Garoppolo or whatever, some kind of veteran, and you just get by this season and tank, tank, bro, tank. And then you go get this kid and kind of threw me completely off.
Yeah, but tank is a bad word. Tank is a bad word inside that building. So.
It's the organization is a tank. You know what? That's the funny part. That's the hilarious part. So you're too stupid to tank the right way, but you look at tanking like you're above it, but yet what's worse is being stuck in the middle where you never really bottom out. And, because since you're not a great front office, because I'm the guy that says it's not where you pick, it's who you pick, which is always true. You can pick anywhere and pick great players. But if you're not a great front office, you might as well. You got a shot to tank. Bro, take that 1 year and tank and be the number 1 or number 2 pick. Make it easier on you, So that way when you pick the first round, you've got the obvious pick. And then the next day when you roll around, you've got the top picks and you've got a slew of teams waiting to trade with you and offer you all kinds of shit. Put yourself in a really beneficial spot since you're at this. And they've got all these picks this year. This was the year to really play a bunch of young guys. You're not really tanking, but you're young and dumb and you're inexperienced and all that kind of stuff. And that's a perfect, recipe for not winning a lot of games. And so you got all these picks this year, and then next year you're picking number 1 or number 2, and you got a chance for a top quarterback. If this kid plays you out of the top quarterback and you're back in the middle again, and you couldn't get your quarterback, that's the part that sucks.
Well, if he does with a bad team, then you might have something in him.
Yes. Yeah, but if he's Matt Moore or Fitzpatrick or Damon Heward or any of these scrubberinis we've seen over the years that come in and win a couple of games, they win a couple of games, but doesn't really help you. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I want. If he's a stud, then of course you got your quarterback. You don't worry about the draft pick. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to get linemen and shit to help him. That's all.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. It's going to be rough. All right. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Have a good weekend.
You got it. 954-966-4646. The consultation is completely free. I tell you about this all the time. Never call the insurance companies. Those people are dying for us to call because they can take advantage of us. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. So far, it says an American official has told Reuters at the agency that the jet has been shot down and a search is underway for the pilots. So far, we haven't heard anything yet if they found the pilots or not. Iranian media is reporting they're offering $60,000 reward for the capture of the pilots. It's kind of cheap, isn't that, Sean? I mean, they're going to get a lot more if they capture them. You're only going to give $60,000? Hey, Iranians, if you capture them, call the U.S. They'll give you a little more. $60,000? That's kind of cheap. Yeah. Just pray, man. I hope they find them. So, anyway. All right. Let's hope they capture them and bring them home. Get them out of that crazy place. All right, let's get to our 3A graphics sports calendar. Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. If you need custom printing and embroidery, he's the man. Panthers over the Bruins, 2-1. Sam Bennett with the goal. Bob with 28 saves. Saturday, they're at Pitt at 5 o'clock. Saturday at 3 o'clock, it is the Wizards taking on the Heat. Also at Saturday at New Stadium, NU. That is in Miami. Inter Miami will unveil their new stadium. They will take on Austin at 7:30. Monday, 6:30 at Beyond Bankcard Field in Davie. The Fort Lauderdale United will be hosting the DC Power. And Sean Stanley and yours truly, by the way, will be there broadcasting live 2:30 to 4:30. So Monday, the show will not be at 10 a.m. It'll be at 2:30. Okay? So good for us because we get to sleep in on Monday and Tuesday. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, Catherine Gonzalez, the midfielder, joined us this week. So you can check it out. That interview is already posted. Please hit the like button. Smash it. Appreciate it. Had a great convo with her. She's from the Dominican Republic. She's Dominican and Puerto Rican. She's playing for the Dominican national team also. But it's pretty cool stuff. And she was actually part of a really cool stat that, I don't know, she might be the only one in the league with that stat since the league has only been around just 2 years. So check out the interview and give it a like. We'd appreciate it immensely and get the algorithms going for the ladies. That is very nice of you if you're able to do that. All right. What else? We have Saturday at 6:06, Illinois taking on UConn, and Illinois is favored by 1.5. The over and under is 139.5. At 8:54 on Saturday, number 1 Michigan taking on number 1 Arizona. Michigan by 1.5. Over and under is 156.5. I don't watch this enough to make a educated pick, to be quite honest. But I'm going to go Illinois, Arizona. Okay. Illinois and Arizona. There you go. What the hell? And I guarantee you it'll be UConn, Michigan. Again, I've only watched a little bit of the tournament, and that's about it. So I don't know enough about these teams in order for me to give you any kind of an assessment of it at all. I watch the NBA a lot more than I watch this, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, you guys can share your thoughts too on the chat board. Don't forget, folks, that is your 3A graphics sports calendar. Don't forget to hit the like button. You can also make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Let's see what else. I really hope they go to draft the needs of the team first. Well, the good thing is, True Fan, they need everything. So it doesn't matter what they draft, they need it. They have no luxury anywhere, pretty much. So, yeah, except what, defensive tackle? You know, if you believe in the 3 kids you have, plus you have Sealer, yeah, defensive tackle is the only thing you shouldn't draft at all. But you should focus on defensive ends. You should focus on outside linebackers, inside linebackers, safeties, corners, wide receivers, tight ends. You know, so it's like linemen is like everything. Everything. They need everything and anything possible. You know, so that's the good thing, that they can't really lose. The only thing is that at 11, I don't want a wide receiver. You know, I need you to build from inside out. And that would be so Dolphins. Okay. Now there's a breaking unverified image of a helicopter being shot down. Is that true? This is crazy. Because the problem is some of these videos and pictures, you're not sure if it's really that it, but unverified image shows of an American helicopter was hit by Iranian air defenses, waiting for more verification and confirmation. This is crazy. I wish the jet stuff wasn't true, that it wasn't shot down. Can you, like, you know? We'll keep you updated, folks, if anything shows up on it. Unfortunately, we haven't had the good news yet. Dolphin Dave's going with Michigan and Illinois. Okay. Big O, if the tight end is there from Oregon, do you take him? What, at number 11? No. I'm not taking him at number 11. No. What else? Oh, by the way, ESPN, it's kind of weird, right? They're moving their number 2 team. I don't really care about the play-by-play guy. That's kind of whatever. But they've got Riddick there with Fowler and Orlovsky. I like Riddick. So they're moving Riddick out. Well, all of them, I think, they're blowing it up. And they're talking about Mike Monaco, Dave Pasch. I don't really care about the play-by-play guy. They're talking about Jason Kelsey and then Kurt Warner also. But if they take Riddick out, it's like Riddick is like one of the few guys that I really enjoy listening to on a broadcast. There's not a lot of guys that I really enjoy listening to. But Riddick is one of those guys that I can respect. I saw that news and I was kind of like, I barely watch ESPN as it is, but obviously I'm stuck watching games, and sometimes you're stuck watching their broadcast teams. And like I say, and so Louis Riddick is one guy that, man, he's good, man. He's good. He does a really nice job. He's got good experience overall. He seems to talk a lot of common sense more often than not. He's a fun guy to listen to watch. The other thing, I don't know, did you guys watch the Tiger video? Sad, dude. Sad to have everything that he has, but the amazing part, folks, is when you run into these kind of addicts, right? And they have been hiding it forever. That's where it gets kind of insane. And now he's going out of the country for treatment, where we really don't know if he's getting treatment or he's just, sitting on some private bungalow and beach and relaxing for a couple of weeks and nobody bothers him. And then he just goes back and says, oh, I can control this, like an addict does. But you saw that, and that was bad. And then also obviously caught with making a pathetic phone call to Trump and then mentioning it's like, oh, I was talking to the president. What a douchebag move, dude. That is as douchebag of a move. Not that he was calling another douchebag, but just that, whatever. I can't have sympathy. It's like that fake ICE agent that I posted on social media. And then, the Trumpies got all crazy and it's like, yo, bro, it's a fake ICE agent. But it was fun to get a rise out of you guys. But the ICE agent, a fake ICE agent, tried to arrest somebody in Hawaii, by the way. And they turned on him and they beat the crap out of him. And I posted the video. And, one guy's, how can you do that? It's so cruel to post. I go, I have no sympathy. That guy's a criminal. He was trying to arrest somebody when he's not an authority, and he got his ass kicked. He deserves it. And with Tiger, I can't have sympathy for a guy that, how inebriated you must be to do all the shit that he's done already, and he gets away with it over and over and over again because you and I don't have his money. You and I could never get that wasted, flip cars and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, he even got permission to leave the country. They probably wouldn't have given us any permission to leave the country. Zero sympathy for Tiger Woods or the fake ICE agent. Again, great video. Great video. He got exactly what he deserved in that video. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Don't forget, folks, visit our friends at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Love talking about the folks at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Alan does great work. He is the general manager there. Eric Stampone, you see him every month when we go out there and hang out with him. He's always a trip, by the way, and offering up some weird ass movies too on top of all of that. By the way, you could go mention our name and you will get $500 off. So when you are purchasing a vehicle, hey, by the way, Big O sent me. Get $500 off if I'm buying or leasing a vehicle there at 16100 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Go down about a couple miles, and it'll be on the south side of Pembroke Pines. And tell them that Big O sent you. And I promise you, they will take care of you there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Number one volume sales dealership, by the way, in the Southeast United States. I am so worried about the pilots, to be quite honest. I'm wishing and praying any moment now that they have able to recapture them and bring them back. Because the last thing we need is hostage situations. That is going to cloud everything. Everything. All right. What else do we have here? Bitcoin, by the way, is at 66.89. It's kind of stuck where it's been. Beautiful, no, not financial advice, but beautiful buying opportunity is what it is. It's that's the one thing I love is that I've been able to stack, and stack. Tiger needs to hang out with Tyreek Hill. I give Tyreek, at least Tyreek's not a doper and an alcoholic. He's got a bunch of other issues. Yeah, that might not be good to put those two guys together. Because then Tiger becomes an abuser and Tyreek becomes a drug addict or alcoholic. Yeah, that might not be. You want to make the lives of both those guys even worse. Damn, Dolphin Dave, that's rude, bro. That's wrong. If and when Tiger overdoses, his physician suppliers will be charged too little, too late. Oh, I never thought about it because, they do have to provide it. Just like the whole thing with Prince or, God, what's the name of the guy from Friends? And he just passed away like 2 years ago. And his drug dealers are being charged. It's what Pat talking about. I forgot the guy's name, but yeah, exactly. That does happen. That does happen. Matthew Perry. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, that does happen. You are right. Yeah, that's screwed up, man. That's screwed up. Let me do a little music. By the way, did you guys know today is Sebastian Bach's birthday? And I did not know that Sebastian Bach of Skid Row was born in Freeport, Bahamas. Yeah, man. For anybody listening in the Bahamas, there you go. Sebastian Bach, baby. Freeport, Bahamas. Never knew that. That's a nugget right there. All right, let's start off with music history. Musicians born on this date of April 3rd. All right, here we go. Sebastian Bach, of course, I already mentioned, born in 1968 on this date. Mike Ness, From Social Distortion, born in 62. Simon Raymond from Cocteau Twins, born in 62. Eddie Murphy, born in 61. Tony Orlando, born in 44. Richard Manuel from the band, born in 43. He was the pianist, the lead singer, and occasional drummer, by the way, of the band. Let's see. What else? Who else? Jan Berry from Jan and Dean, Surf City, born in 41. And Doris Day, born in 1924. That's a classic name right there. All right, let's go with famous people born on this day. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means that they have passed away, unfortunately. All right, here we go. Actor Leslie Howard, born in 1893. Actor Marlon Brando, born in 1924. Actress Marsha Mason, born in 1942. She is 84 today. Musician Wayne Newton, born in 42. He is 84. Alec Baldwin, born in 58. He is 68. Peekaboo Street, the Olympic skier, born in 71. She's 55. Actress Jenny Garth, born in 72. She's 54. Still looks great. Let's see. Actress Kobe Smulders, born in 82. She's 44. Actress, musician Chrissy Fitt, born in 84. She's 42. No idea who she is. Actress Amanda Bynes, pobrecita, born in 86. She's 40. That woman has been through hell and back. Musician, again, I don't know him, Young M.A., born in 92. He's 34. Actress, model, and I think daughter of Michael, Paris Jackson, born in 98, 28. And Sam Kiska of Greta Van Fleet, born in 99. And the young man out of Michigan is 27 years old today. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do. 1 minute here. All right. Tiger Jeet Singh turns 82. Tasha Steeles is 38. The great Lance Storm, he turns 57. James Drake is 33. And the great Alex Marvez from AEW Backstage turns 55 on April 3rd, 2026.
Nice. I got to send him a happy birthday. All right. Good stuff. All right. Let's see. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And Ray, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. Appreciate you immensely. He says, happy Good Friday. Wishing you a blessed Friday and weekend. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate that. And you can send in your questions, comments, or just pleasantries like Ray just did. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. All right, let's go to music history. What happened today in music history? Because I know you're all wondering. All right, we got it. In 68, Simon and Garfunkel released their fourth studio album, Bookends. In 71, The Temptations scored their second U.S. number one, Just My Imagination, Running Away With Me. In 1990, jazz singer Sarah Vaughan died of lung cancer. In 2001, Run DMC released their seventh and final studio album, Crown Royal. It features the singles The Beginning, No Further Delay, Simmons Incorporated, Crown Royal Queen's Day, It's Over, Rock Show, and Let's Stay Together Forever. In 2007, Kings of Leon released their third studio album, Because of the Times, and it features On Call, Fans, and Charmer. In 2008, Morrissey accepted a public apology in court from the now-defunct monthly music magazine The Word after it suggested he was a racist and a hypocrite. Let's see. In 2011, Adele broke the record for the longest time at #1 in the UK album charts by a female solo artist after her second album, 21, spent 10 consecutive weeks at the top of the charts. The previous record was held by Madonna with their first greatest hits album, The Immaculate Collection, in 1990. Let me see if there's any birthdays that weren't on the other list. So far, it doesn't look like it. Nope, not at all. That's it. That's what happened today in music history. All right. Oh, by the way, professional bat rack, Kim Kardashian is now an executive producer for a series. Team Moms follows the players of legendary prep academy in Scottsdale, Arizona, and their mothers. The show will chronicle the starting lineup of teenage boys hoping to go pro in the majors after the youthful program. Kim Kardashian Productions produces Teen Moms with ITV America and Paramount Sports Entertainment. Additional executive producers, whatever. So there you go. She is doing a reality show with youth baseball moms. I mean, when you're a professional bat rack, why not? She's got some experience, I would say. Good job by her, branching out. Anyway. What else is going on in the world of sports? Where's the Dow, by the way? Hold on a second. Let me check. Because we're only down 61 points. Still down only 61 points, which is, I think, fantastic news. The S&P's up 7, and the NASDAQ is up 38. Wow, that is awesome right there. I'm telling you, not bad considering everything going on. Not bad. Not bad. It's going to get worse, but it's not bad right there. Let's see. Yeah, that doesn't happen here, Dave. Just got on board, was watching, I think it's a new documentary of the Beatles called Evolver 62, giving a detailed history account of them right before the blow up at the end. It was very good. Yeah. A lot of the Beatles stuff that has come out lately has been actually really, really cool stuff to get some of that footage from when there were that other documentary. It's just awesome to know that they had that. It's just crazy. Says the Bears are now the heavy favorites to sign Dolphin star Tyreek Hill on Polymarket. Oh, man. And so far, it says the condition of the two pilots is unknown. So we don't know anything so far. Pray, folks. Pray. Let's hope that they find them. All right, what else do we have going on? Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Let's see what you got on the chat board here. A moose up here to gets to be 1,600 plus pounds. They're massive. Yeah, mooses can grow enormous, dude. They're intimidating mofos, as big as they are. Young M.A. is a woman. She's a rapper. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. You know, I mention it, but Young M.A. is a she. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Again, wasn't I honest? I have no idea, but I want to mention it because it is the birthday of the lady now that I know it's a lady. And give them some. And I know that there's fans out there. Just because I don't like it or know anything about it doesn't mean it's not good or that some people don't like it. So I mention it. But I'm brutally honest. You know, it's not something that people are used to sometimes. I don't know something. Got no problem, dude. I'll tell you, I don't know. Just like the picks for college basketball. Do I really know? No. Am I doing a draft live? Probably not. I probably will do recaps of the draft is what I'll do. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing what I've done in the past. Not doing it. I'm not making an effort. I'm not making much of an effort anymore. They have to make the effort first. When they are good, then I can start making an effort. But if not, I can cover it on the periphery and I can pretty much analyze everything that's going on and tell you what I think is going to happen and probably predict better than 99% of the people that cover it anyway, like I have for decades. So I'm not really worried about it. You know what I'm saying? I can tell from what's going on. And I get the same video access that all these people get and you get and all that. So it's all the same information. It's not a big deal. Not worried. But the day that they actually turn the corner, then I can turn the corner again. But I'm not doing it anymore. So Dolphin Dave, those days of going overboard for the Dolphins, yeah, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. They got to do their part, and they don't. So I'm in a wait and see. What I'll be doing is picking up the Canes coverage. That will be happening. I'm working on that behind the scenes. That's what I'm working on right now, is increasing my Canes coverage. You know, Dolphins, they get more than enough. Until they produce something, what's there to talk about? You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with the Dolphins, unfortunately. Kind of, you know, it started last year when I told you I wasn't going to camp or anything like that. Unfortunately, it's what they deserve. What else? Big O Cup, go up a couple chats, read what I wrote about a moose. Oh, okay. I'd rather watch a moose scratch his balls with a ferret than watch or listen to anything ESPN nowadays, and I've never seen a moose. Oh, dude. That's a spectacle. You need to see a moose. Yeah. Yeah. You need to see a moose live. Those things are impressive, bro. Impressive. Man. Scary, intimidating, impressive, monstrous, majestic. There are so many adjectives to describe a moose. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually, I'd rather see a moose than watch the Dolphins last season. And if he scratches his balls with a ferret, oh, dude, that's better than any Dolphins season the last 20 years. Are you kidding me? That's talent right there. Dolphins have never had that kind of talent the last 20 years. A moose, ball scratching ferret. Oh, baby. That's an all-pro. Yes, I did see Rush, John. We've talked about it a couple times throughout the week. Yes, I did. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was fantastic. You guys sounded good. Let's see, a little music trivia. I just learned by watching the documentary which Beatle would play second instrument, especially when they were playing gigs at the Cavern Club. Now, I would go with McCartney. Bass players usually play a second instrument, so I'll go with bass player. I don't know. Let's see. That's what Dolphins need. More moose. Oh, a moose would be good. A moose would be good for our running game. I like that. Moose would be talented. Even a grizzly bear rarely ever tries to take on a fully grown bull moose. Well, I wouldn't know. You live up in the north, in the great wide north, so you would know much more than I. I'm a Florida kid. I wouldn't know, but I have seen a moose. So I did have the luck once being up north and seeing a moose, and I was like, holy shit. So yeah, I've seen that. But yeah, no, those things are scary, bro. Like if you piss that thing off, you're dead. I can't imagine if that thing hits you and just it'll fling you into the air for like 80 feet or something. It's crazy. I can't imagine the strength that thing has. Yeah. So. Correct, Big O. McCartney. He would play the drums when either Pete Best or Ringo would sing. Yeah. Bassists usually are the guys that play extra instruments in a band like that. Okay, it all depends. Like in U2, it's actually Bono that will play keyboards with the guitar too at the same time. Edge will play a little guitar and he'll do the harmonica and stuff. But it's Edge, the one that really plays like the other instrument that you need, and so. But he's the musical genius, behind the band. But a lot of times, yeah, it's the bass player because Geddy Lee in a 3-man band, he's the guy that plays the keyboards. Not anymore now. In the new tour for Rush, they will have a rhythm guitarist and they will have a keyboardist. They will have a 5-piece band and they will have 2 people helping out. And that's super smart on their. Why put the load on yourself when you're a 3-man band? I get it. When you're young, you're Muse, and you still want to be your 3-man band. Look, Triumph now is going on tour, and they will not be a 3-man band. They're going to have a couple of people supporting them because you need a rhythm guitarist and a keyboardist to kind of pick it all up. When you're a 3-man band, the guitarist is playing the rhythm and the lead. It's carrying a lot of the burden sometimes. And if you add keyboard to it, then all of a sudden your bassist is playing bass and keyboards. And sometimes you could get away with it because when the bass is playing the keyboards, he can also play bass too on the keyboard at the same time. So it allows him to fill that in there. That's, as we've explained before, if you go look at the Doors, they were a 4-man band and they had no bass player. It was a singer, a guitarist, a drummer, and a keyboardist. And the keyboardist was also your bass player, Ray Manzarek. So, yeah. Sometimes that's how it goes with bands. They have to play some extra instruments. And by the way, Greta Van Fleet, the bassist, also plays keyboards. When they do the keyboards in their music, it's the bassist doing the keyboards because again, he can do the keyboards, and if he has to include some of his bass, he can play it inside the keyboards with the other hand. Let's see. What else do we have? Yes, Devin, but you know how it goes. Big O, I have a question. If Bitcoin is supposed to be the future currency, store value / currency, why is it not performing as good as gold? And will Bitcoin ever surpass the value of gold? Yes, of course it will eventually. But we're still in the process of education. and adoption and laws. We have not passed the laws yet. Look, they still talk about the, it's funny because when Trump got elected, my Trumpy buddies were like, "Oh, you lucky bastard. You're a Bitcoin guy. He's going to help you." And he hasn't helped me at all. It's worse now than when he took office. So, but I'm not expecting him or the Dems to help me in the way of, or any of us in the way that people think. The destruction of the dollar is just going on. This morning, here we go. Let me pull it up. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the money that they're buying back. This morning, the Treasury bought back $15 billion of its own debt. And it's all online. If you go to the Federal Reserve, it's all online. You can look at the total money, the total circulation, and go look at it every month or two or a couple of weeks, and you'll see magically the number changes, and it's more and more and more. And they added another 70 billion. Oh, they added another 115 billion. Oh, they added another 30 billion. You're like, all you got to do is just keep looking. And do you think they have the money to buy back their debt? No, they just print it. So they just keep devaluing our money. And people will figure it out, dude. We're 17 years in, and we're here sitting at 68,000, 67,000, whatever. And it was 8 digits behind a penny. There's going to be fluctuations and volatility right now because a lot of retail was part of it. Now, foundationally, it's a lot of institutional money. And that's going to continue to build. Once the laws are passed, which they're being passed in other parts of the world. But once the U.S. does it, then everybody else kind of follows suit and really opens up the floodgates. And it's going to be connected to all the 401ks and everything else. So Bitcoin and then Ethereum also will explode. And I've warned you guys for the last couple of years about God candles and violent rips. They're coming. They're coming. I just keep telling you because I don't want you to then be surprised when it happens. But it's just patience, Frankie. It's just patience. It's what you got to have. And if you don't have patience to play the long game, you can't win. You can't win. If you're looking to get out in the next month or 6 weeks or 6 months or 2 years, it's not the game for you. It's not the game. You got to hold it for 4+ years. Because if you hold it for 4+ years, well, I started at, a bunch at 15 and 20 and 30,000. So I'm way in the green. But I've held for 6 years. When I roll around in 2 more years, you'll see where this is be. And then 4 years after that, 6 years from now, it's just kind of, you have to be patient. You have to give it time. And now we're at a point where it is being adopted more. You can go to Steak and Shake and buy. You can go buy a home. You can go to Fannie Mae and back your home loans with Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's already being instituted. It's just a matter of time and education. That's all. And as long as you're patient, everything will come to you. But meanwhile, the people that worry about playing the market, the game of, I'll buy one and dip here. No, bro, just buy and stack. Your job now, not financial advice, never has been, but the way I look at it is your job is to stack and buy as much Bitcoin as possible. Because when it does explode and the slivers are so thin, it will not be motivating for anybody that's a hardworking stiff like you and me. For rich people, they'll still buy it. But the rest of us, we won't be able to. Because it'll be impossible to really build it up. Now, it's very possible to build up 5, 6, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% of a Bitcoin. It's very possible right now. This is the chance. So it's just time, adoption, and education. That's all it is, dude. That's all it is. It's the only thing that's finite. Gold, they mine more gold every year. They mine the total amount of gold. 2 to 3% of the total amount of gold is found every year. So they're adding more and more gold. So it's not finite. They're going to find it on meteors. They're going to find it in other planets. Gold will be found all over the place. It's only 21 million Bitcoin. That's where things will change. So there you go, my brother. And by the way, we thank our friends at R&M Contractors, because when we talk crypto, we thank Ray and Mike. Complete remodel, kitchen upgrades and appliances. Very important since we live here in South Florida. Hurricanes, waterproofing that terrace, the balcony, flood test report. So important. You don't want the water going down to your neighbors, and then all of a sudden the problem's bigger. No, you want it to be trapped, and then you can flood it out yourself. And you know, that's why you want that flood test report. Impact windows and door installations, and the work is as professional, as clean as it gets. Top-notch work. Go to the Instagram page so you can be blown away by the work. RMC Fisher Island at RMC Fisher Island. Check out the work there at R&M Contractors, and we thank Ray and Mike. All right. What else? What else do we have here? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. What else? Trying to find here. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me update it. I told you I was thinking about seeing Sebastian Bach here in Sebastian at a hotel. I did last night. Thanks again. He played his usual hits. Grind, 18 Live, If I Remember You. He was good. All right, man. It's awesome. He had a good band. I don't know, as long as if he had a good band, that's awesome. Good for you, man. And that's you didn't pay anything really that broke you, and you got an entertaining show. So you win. I'm waiting for Big O to give the Marlins their roses. You will die before that happens. Ted, if you watch the show, we don't talk Marlins. They get nothing here. Nothing. Like I said, we'll talk about them when they actually keep a core of players together and they start paying. And at least for now, if they make the playoffs, then we'll talk about them. But yeah, that's normal here, my brother. They don't get anything here. They probably never will, actually. The beauty is I don't need them to do this job. It's the beauty. Don't need to talk Marlins. It's not important. Let's see. Would beat the 7 Mile Bridge in the Florida Keys. I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. You got that. You got me on that one. I saw Black Sabbath about 10 years ago. Geezer Butler is a monster bass player. Yes, dude. Yes, definitely. Geezer is one of the greatest of all time. For sure. For sure. He is as beastly as it gets when we talk about the great Geezer Butler. All right. All right, folks, we're out of here. We appreciate you all. I don't even know how I got to 2 hours anyways. We thank the great Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that always gets it done. We appreciate all of you out there for tuning in. Pray for our soldiers. Let's hope that somehow or another they're able to find our soldiers and bring them in and save them, because if they get caught by these people, I've already lived a hostage situation the first time around. I don't want to live another one. That was not a fun thing. If I remember correctly, that's how World News Tonight started. If I remember correctly, I think that's how it all began. Was the hostage crisis on ABC, and the dun 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 dun, dun day whatever. I remember it vividly, and I believe that all started from that. I think, and then that went on to be a transitional show forever. So yeah, I don't want to live another one. or they talk about a hostage crisis. That's not a good thing, man. Not a good thing. Anyway, appreciate you all out there. Pray for our men and women serving. We will see you on Monday morning. Oh, Monday afternoon at 2:30. Same time, same place. Bitcoin. Same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.